Thank you so much for joining us today to address the urgent escalating crisis facing the Rohingya community in Arakan or Rakhine State, Burma, Myanmar. My name is Yasminullah, and I am a Rohingya Canadian human rights activist currently serving as the executive director of the Rohingya Mayafornar Collaborative Network. I was born in Arakan State, Myanmar, during the height of the violence against Rohingya in the 1990s. Seeing no way out, my parents decided to flee from the country in 1995. We were displaced in Thailand without legal status or protection for 16 years before a group of kind Canadians stepped up to help us through a sponsored resettlement process. 14 years later, I am now one of the very few fortunate Rohingya who live in relative peace. Unfortunately, only 1% of the Rohingya out of 1.8 million people worldwide are currently living in freedom. Since May of this year, we have witnessed a horrifying escalation of violence against Rohingya people. Drone attacks, airstrikes, and the systematic burning of homes by both the Arakan army and the military junta have left approximately 95% of the Rohingya community displaced internally. This brutal campaign not only resulted in widespread suffering, but has also led to forced conscription of thousands of Rohingya men and boys who are coerced into becoming frontline fighters in a conflict that seeks to erase their very existence. One harrowing account of a Rohingya man captures the despair. Quote, "They use us as frontline fighters. They want to wipe us out. It's the AA, or the Arakan Army, and Myanmar military's policy," unquote. This dark reality reveals how both the junta and the Arakan army are using our community as pawns for their goals, subjecting them to torture, abuse, and death. The consequences of this violence are dire, fostering a deepening divide and a culture of hatred that threatens the very fabric of our society in Burma, Myanmar. In a tragic twist, 25,000 Rohingya have fled from Mongdo and Buthidaung townships to Bangladesh Cox's Bazar area in the past month. Yet, they now find themselves without essential humanitarian support. Rohingya-led organizations such as ourselves have stepped in, providing emergency funds and food, while no other big humanitarian organizations have stepped in. These efforts, unfortunately, are insufficient to meet overwhelming needs of this vulnerable population, which consist very much of women and children. This violence marks what can only be described as a second wave of genocide against the Rohingya people. It underscores the urgent need for accountability in a country rife with ideological turmoil, where armed groups operate with impunity and civilians continue to bear the brunt of this conflict. Today, we call upon the Canadian government to take decisive actions. Our requests are as follows. 1. Leverage Canada's influence. Use your position to advocate for the National Unity Government to establish a working accountability mechanism that holds both the junta and the armed groups accountable for their crimes and end the culture of impunity. 2. End enablers of violence. Hold accountable not just the junta, but also its ASEAN enablers, both the government and private sectors, who continue to facilitate aviation fuel sales to the military used in deadly airstrikes and allow assets of genocide perpetrators to be stored within their national banking systems. 3. Support Rohingya initiatives. Provide direct support to the Rohingya refugee initiatives, particularly those led by women. Expand humanitarian programs beyond Bangladesh to ensure comprehensive aid reaches those in dire need. We implore the international community, especially Canada, to stand with the Rohingya in this time of unimaginable suffering. The world cannot afford to remain silent while atrocities unfold, and there is no future for a democratic Burma, Myanmar without Rohingya in it. Thank you.